Hello, 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 everybody. Greetings, adventurers of Vera. Welcome to Tavern Talk at the Golden Feather Tavern. We are Virtek and Chibi, keepers of this fine establishment. The Golden Feather Tavern is open to all travelers to come and share their thoughts on the inner workings of Vera over a nice tankard of ale, mead, hot chocolate, or any other delicious beverage of choice. So, raise your glass, pull up a chair as we delve into tonight's discussions. Delicious. And today is the 7th of May, 2024. We are in episode 016. That's right, 16 of these lovely things we've done so far.
Yes.
And tonight's topics, Chibi, what do we have on tap for today?
Well, curse juice. First off, that was a subscriber goal that we hit where I rolled, and it was to take a shot. Thank you, Basil. And today's topics we have will include what to expect from the community as we draw closer to Alpha 2, new dev discussion that was released on cutscenes, and more chatter on Unreal Engine 5.4. If you missed that, check out the time that we chatted with, I believe, Ezekiel on that. And if any of these topics sound interesting and you have been a part of our Discord and lives previously, we welcome you to join in the discussion with us in voice. Otherwise, please feel free to share your thoughts in chat. And if you like this kind of content, consider giving us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure to hit the notification bell if you'd like to see when we post or go live. And
I finally joined
that was yay. And the shot was actually kind of a spin-off of what I had last night. Should we tell them what they called it?
Yeah, do it. Go for it.
So we went to eat with a family member, and the restaurant we went to had Angry Orchard and Fireball, and they called it Angry Balls.
It's delicious.
It was delicious Angry Balls, apparently. I was like, maybe we should put that on the menu and call them like the Angry Renkai.
Tastes like delicious cinnamon apple amazingness.
Yeah. We all, that fire insider. That could have been a way different dish.
That's true. It's true.
Hello, hello. But who doesn't love Angry Balls? Exactly. But yeah, so first and foremost, for some of you, you might be like, well, hold on. Usually you do Tavern Talks on Wednesday. We're doing Tavern Talk Tuesdays now. Kind of like Taco Tuesdays, but at the tavern. I don't know. I think it's better, to be honest.
Yes.
You can only enjoy a taco once. You can enjoy a Tavern Talk multiple times.
True story, actually. Once the taco's done, it's gone.
Yeah.
Once the Tavern Talk is done, it's uploaded for review again later.
Yeah, exactly. Hydrate. Thank you. I actually do have some water, so thank you, Sogley.
Trying to wash down that apple cinnamon juice.
I gotta. Never mind. So for the first topic, who only has one taco? I'm just saying, getting some tacos will last you one day, and that specific taco will only last you while you're eating it.
I mean,
this specific podcast is replayable.
The only person who has one taco is the person who accidentally ate before their friend said we're going out for tacos.
There's
and then they were angry,
too,
and they had to get at least one taco.
There's that too. But yeah, so there's been some interesting people, I guess, who have been popping up within the Ashes community. We have had the infamous Jimmy video, the Bluesquadron video, and I just kind of thought it would be a great moment to take a pause and talk about, our responsibility as content creators, and talking about Virtek and myself, um, and other content creators, and also uh, the expectations as we get closer to Alpha 2 coming into our community. So for those that don't know, Jimmy with a one instead of an I, Jimmy made a video on how there's not any good MMOs coming out. And Asmund did a react, a few other people did reacts, and Ash's Secretion was mentioned in that. And specifically, the thing that got a few people within the community a little bit and like irritated or like just bothered, maybe on a light note, was the focus on the killing of 20 goblins and how the future new MMORPG can't possibly be one that has like kill quest still. And I mean, we have varying opinions, but the reality is everybody has a different idea of what they want the next new MMORPG to be like. And the other video with Bluesquadron was actually a reaction to a guest who we're having on this Friday, which is Rive Genesis video. And we ended up reading over to Vladis while he was doing a react to that. So go check out that. But first off, I guess opinions aside, we're going to be getting a lot more of these people, talking about Ashes of Creation as we get closer to Alpha 2. A lot of them have not been following Ashes of Creation as close as a lot of us have. But kind of going back to the whole no kill quest, I don't know. How do you feel about that, Virtek? Just as
I
a
like
general
Basil's idea. No more kill quests at all. We're doing hug quests now. Go hug 20 wolves.
That reminds me of the Make Love Not Warcraft.
Yeah.
I love that. Hello, Raka. Welcome in.
And in theory, that would still end up being a kill quest, because if you try to hug 20 wolves, most of them are not going to let you, and they're going to try and eat you, so you still have to fight them.
See, I thought you were going to say kill them with kindness.
So then we're back to the WoW quest of collect 20 hooves from the zebras. And apparently you can kill 500 of those and only get 19 hooves. So...
see, I thought you were going to say collect hooves from the Loreforged.
Collect hooves from the Loreforged.
Hey, U-turn, welcome in. But no, I think talking about hugging wolves, I just found the perfect date idea. High tea with huskies. Oh, I love that.
Dig it.
Like, I just imagine someone trying to offer a husky like a thing of tea, and the husky just sniffing it, neither taking it or like what our dog does, just no. But I don't know. I think I have a little bit deeper of a response to that, not like directly to Jimmy, but just like the idea of having kill quest in MMO. But I wanted to hear yours first.
Yeah, I think my actual point of view, outside of referencing people's funny comments, which I love, by the way, never stop.
Yes.
Never stop being you, chat. Never. I think kill quest will never not be a thing. It's just, it's never gonna go away at all. Like, they can limit the number of just go out and kill some things, but at the end of the day, like, we need to reduce numbers of insert population of whatever evil thing or violent thing or whatever is causing an issue. So just go out and slay a whole bunch of them. Get rid of them, please. Thank you so very much. That's what we need. That's the help we need from you, is get rid of a lot of them. Thank you. But then again, developers can add a lot of other flavor around it, so they don't get just overrun with nothing but kill quest. I actually remember a game called Silk Road that I played a long time ago, and that one was notorious for kill quest and collect quest, and it would be the same animal for 4 quests, literally 4 quests in a row.
Oh my gosh.
It would say, go kill 50 of them. Okay, now go kill 100. Okay, now go collect 25 claws. Okay, now go collect 50 claws. Jesus Christ.
On that note, like, if I can pick up both of those at the same time and it can count for both, I'd be fine. but
Nope.
don't make it sequential.
Yeah, it was sequential exactly like that. Oh, it was
Oh,
so annoying.
oh, or the pillage quest. Yeah. Um, and Basil, I don't think he necessarily recommended anything. He actually, I believe, mentioned that he doesn't really know what the answer would be to making an MMO feel like not old or dated, or like how to make it, better. But just that um that was something that he didn't desire having. And my perspective on it is, well, what did MMORPGs come from in the first place? And when looking back, I mean, look at Ashes of Creation. It came from Pathfinder. I'm pretty sure, without saying directly kill 20 goblins or whatever, that there's still kill quest in there. Like, you still have to go take out these goblins that are in the nearby area. It doesn't say kill 8 goblins directly, but there's 8 goblins there, and you have to kill all of the goblins um for that to fulfill. So maybe the idea of taking away the number, and it just says like exterminate the goblins in the area.
Cause them to hate you enough, and you have a hate meter. And the more higher ups you slay, the more angry they get. The more huts you burn, the angrier they get. The more individuals you slay, like just regular peon goblins, they get angry, but not as angry as burning a hut, which
Yeah.
makes 5 of them homeless. Something like that would be kind of cool. But
Yeah.
in answer to what some people were asking about, he didn't necessarily provide a solution outside of, and I have no real point of view on this because I haven't played the new old school RuneScape, but he did give an example that old school RuneScape's questing system was great because it felt like a mission that you would go on and do things and such like that. So whatever that is, because I haven't played it, I don't know. I have zero idea.
Yeah.
But
Same.
apparently that's the goal. That's the end goal.
But I mean, that's also kind of why I was saying that, maybe going along the lines of, hey, these goblins are causing a threat in this area without putting a number on it. Because one thing I did hear from people in the gaming community, not exactly Ash's community, but the gaming community as a whole, is like, hey, this, I don't want another grind MMO. And like what you mentioned, Virtek, like, okay, it starts at 20. When does it become 50? When does it become 100? Like, you know, I do
Yeah.
like what, I forgot, I think it may have been Tiny Tina's, where it's like, kill X amount of these. But in honesty, it wasn't like that many. It like ended before you got way there. It
Yeah.
does. Thank you for the visa. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Des.
Welcome
At tier
in.
3 as well. Much
Yes,
appreciated.
for 9 months.
So very much thank you.
We
For 9
there's
months.
a bun in the oven of like the back cook area that has Desrevis like stamped into it. It
Yeah,
might be a
yeah, yeah.
pretzel bun. I don't know.
Yeah, and by the way, Des, I don't know if you noticed, but that tier 3 comes with a whole lot extra niftiness on the
Oh
sub
yes,
badge too. Your
yes
cup
it
runneth
does.
over.
It does. But in the oven, she's pregnant. I was trying to make a 9 month joke. I'm sorry. Um,
Womp womp.
but going back to Valentine's comment, it says, in my opinion, it is a content creator's job to do proper research into the items they want to make a video about. If you don't do that, you show ignorance and unprofessionalism thoughts. And I want to say this just in general, before going to the CC specific. We saw it in Alpha 1. We're going to see it again in Alpha 2 as we approach. There's going to be a lot of people who have heard things about Ashes, who have lightly looked into Ashes, who have not been following nearly as long as we have, who don't know about the wiki, who don't know about a lot of these other like videos that are constantly being put out. Maybe they don't watch Ashes of the Creation. So people like Vladis, people like us, people like Mr. Burns, like we don't get on their timeline, right? So keeping that open mind, we're probably going to get a lot of people that have done little to no research on the topic before coming in and asking questions. And we saw this during Alpha 1. Hey, that question's already been asked. You can find it over here. Hey, that question's already been asked. Can we ask new questions? And it's new to them, you know.
Mhm,
Um
yeah. And to be fair, To be fair, one thing I would like to mention specifically about the Jimmy video is you could tell that
Mhm.
Jimmy was definitely hyped up and all about that RuneScape life.
Yeah.
And even mentioned about how people dog RuneScape for their graphics. So it is somewhat similar to I won't ever play RuneScape because of the graphics. I won't.
Yeah.
It just won't be a thing I do ever. Um, I played it once upon a time long ago before it was like old school RuneScape, and I'm okay with the graphics existing how they are. I just don't want to play them. But it might
Yeah.
be the same thing with Kill Quest. Again, I don't know that somebody mentioned that there were Slayer Quest with hundreds of things you got to go kill in RuneScape, but if they are truly rare, maybe that's Jimmy's absolute turnoff is Kill Quest. Maybe Slayer Quest have driven him nuts. I don't know.
Right.
But maybe that might be the one thing where he sees that and says, no, not at all.
Yeah. And I mean, again, so many games have not done it correctly, but I wouldn't count it as like this is the thing. Because there's, again, with Ashes of Creation, there's a lot that goes into these systems, right? Maybe that was a pop up that's an optional. That's not even the quest that he picked up, potentially. I don't know. Because, I don't recall anything on that. It could have been popping up randomly. Who knows? But, um, that was something that they mentioned that they wanted to have where you're running through an area and it guides you to do a quest of some sort for that area. Um, but yeah, I mean, also some of the comments that I heard where, he mentioned some things that actually Ashes of Creation does fulfill. And I'm sure that there's a lot of things that people are going to talk about with Ashes without knowing the full context of or knowing how integrated these things are because it's really complex, honestly. It's a very complex system.
Yeah. And that's the thing is in theory, some of these folks are getting turned off by one or two items that they see, and
Yeah.
that just completely drives them away without researching the rest
Yeah.
and without looking at how complex and how bananas that everything's going to be kind of intermingled and very
That
player
Tetris bag
driven.
is just weird, though. Just side note. Penumbral says, damn, that damn complex Tetris bag. Like, this is
True
weird.
story.
It's
True
just
story.
strange.
But yeah, they may just not be able to get to the intricacies and the interesting mechanics that Ashes is going to be bringing to the table,
And
and interesting
that's,
mechanics that is being brought from other games and being combined with other systems in a way that just sounds like it's going to fit really well.
yeah. Yeah. Also, Thother, like, before I go back to what I was about to say, Thother says, I kind of liked how some of the ARPGs do, hey, go over here and do this quest. Oh, a bonus quest pop. Do you want to kill 300 mobs for some fat loot? But,
Yeah.
that's kind of where I think it's our jobs as content creators, especially, I mean, if you've applied to be an official content creator, or if you're intending to say, hey, I make content for Ashes of Creation, I think that's where it's our job to be like, I don't know, welcoming and like just pleasant with not even just content creators, but people in the community in general. I mean, I remember a lot of people feeling turned off by, like, I believe it was Tether that mentioned it. Um, that's the problem with AOC Discord sometimes is like, there's all these people that are genuinely asking questions and they don't know about some of these other sources. And so we always try to do like a, hey, I don't know if you know, but like this is a little bit of like the like information that we know. There's more information here on the wiki. It's a great source. We actually love them. There's a lot of citation, things like that. Oh my gosh, raid.
Oh,
Hey, thank you for the raid, you guys. Also, welcome in Phantom and
Arkham.
Hidden Dagger. What's
My
up?
goodness.
Yes, foster a good
I love it.
community. Work together. Mr.
Thank you for the
Noobtastic.
raid and
Stating a
welcome
negative
on
opinion
in.
about something without bothering to get the information first is called ignorant hate. And yeah, I mean, that can definitely happen. Absolutely. Welcome in, guys. We're talking about what to expect as Alpha 2 arises and comes close, and like Virtek and my personal opinion on being a content creator within the Ashes of Creation community and how to handle like the incoming not intentionally ignorant in a negative way, but just genuinely new ignorant questions, not knowing that there's something like a wiki out there. So yeah, welcome in. Happy to have you guys. Um, and this is our more chill tavern talk. You know, I want to be PI so I can play with character creator. Um,
And
but yeah.
yeah, Penumbra. Random comment there. OMG, honey garlic wings delivered to my computer. Wives are awesome. I would like to second that notion. They are.
I brought him a shot before this, so I don't think many people know just how good the wiki is. Yeah, I mean, but also, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Would you rather talk to a person and have some social interaction and be like, "Hey, Virtek, do you know much about the animal husbandry system?" Or would you rather someone go be like, "It's in the Encyclopedia Ashes of Creation Tonica. Go read that." Like, oh, okay. I guess I'll go read that. I mean, I knew it was there, but I also wanted to talk to somebody about it, you know? What if it was Lex you were talking to? I mean, Lex would be the Encyclopedia Ashes of Creation Tonica. Knowing is just naive. Nothing wrong with not knowing. Exactly.
Mr. Noobtastic has it perfectly there. Like I know it's kind of daunting to hear the same questions all the time, but some people may know the wiki exists and some people may have read it for a lot of stuff, but sometimes they're just trying to engage with the community and ask questions. And that's one of the ways that they think is fun to engage. So
yeah,
sometimes
and I
just humor them.
I do get that some people, you know, get exhausted of answering the same questions, but I don't know. I feel like that's also where like Virtek and I specifically pull an especially like heavy weight on ourselves to be a positive entry into the community by answering them and being as kind as possible because we are the community, like in a way. That's how we view ourselves, right? We are a beacon of you guys. You guys, we want people to feel like, hey, the community is really awesome. The community is really welcoming, unless you ask the Lord questions to Steven during an AMA. But but you know, we want people to feel, you know, welcome and like no question is too small or too silly, you know. Exactly, Argam.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Argam said it's tiring answering the same questions, but as a streamer or content creator, it's kind of your job to do it. And yes, I agree. It does come with the responsibility, especially if going into this, you know, people will become official content creators. So that's something else that you're gonna have to think of. But I mean, whether or not a CC does research on a game before they comment about it is on them, but it is also on us to be still a positive, you know, if that makes any sense. I find it so weird that a community of gamers waiting for a group-based MMO would tell new people to go read this on your own. Well, I think they mean well when they say it, but it's just like imagine because you guys aren't CCs. Not saying that you guys in our chat are doing this, but you guys in the community, you're not content creators. You're not used to people asking the same question every single. I mean, we could put a title on our stream and somebody be like, "Oh, what's the," you know, and it's literally in the title, but that's, you know, it's okay. You know, sometimes people are on their phone and don't see the title. I don't know, but I was just thinking, you know, for the general person being asked the same question constantly.
Like on Reddit and whatnot is where we see it a lot.
Yeah. Then again, I tried it, so love you guys. I promise I do. Yeah. But
well,
Reddit is not always the
right.
Yeah. That's a common question for sure. What game is this? Yeah. I only tell people to look on wiki if I'm not 100% sure on the answer and I don't want to spread it myself. Yeah. I say, let's look on the wiki. You know, like, hey, let's both do it. Cause I could be, maybe I'll learn something new. As a GM, I get this all the time. Yeah, exactly. It does.
Yeah, but, Phantom, yeah. For questions like that, that's why we need to get a troll face emote.
Just a Renkai face.
Just get a Virtek face making, I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
Some kind of funky expression. I don't know what we would do for that. But yeah.
I thought that'd be funny though too. But yeah, in general, that's that's what I think we should expect more of as we get closer to Alpha 2. We're going to
Mhm.
expect more content creators, especially because Alpha 2 is going to hit a huge variety of people, actually, a wider range than Alpha 1, even. Um, there's uh, Alpha 1 had a decent number of people. Even when the NDA was released, a lot of people got to see it, but it's been 3 years since then. There's been more marketing, there's been more word of mouth, more people have access to Alpha 2. Yeah, it's going to be massive. So, like, there's going to be people probably making videos just off of what they see from people playing Alpha 2 without knowing much about the game in general. And be like, that lightning ball looks so weird. I don't know. um,
Yeah, speaking of
so
Alpha 2, there's definitely going to be a lot of people coming in and asking about the game in general and what the heck is this? This isn't a game. This is early access. This is junk for early access, et cetera, et cetera. So,
yeah.
and those are going to come in the
Virtek
droves.
before coffee. Yes. Sorry.
I mean,
I
yeah,
didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought that'd be a perfect perfect expression. Just
yeah,
what are you
yeah.
talking about? I need coffee. I need coffee to deal with this.
I dig
Questions
it.
for ill sounds like a good deal. I'm sorry.
Mm,
I didn't
mm,
mean to
mm,
cut you
mm.
off. But yeah, they're gonna be asking like, or saying like this game is just not a real game, etc.
Yeah, what's going on with this? It looks like poop.
Yeah.
This isn't good for early access. Well, it's a good thing it's not early access then, right?
Yeah.
But
Exactly. So Phantom says, I was doing some math. If we assume 200K Alpha 2 testers, their live streams only get 4K and YouTube bids 40 to 80K. That's a lot of people out there not following closely. Exactly.
mm-hmm.
I'm worried about the people who think A2 is going to be like smooth live game and then get annoyed. That's why we're like testing Alpha 2, not playing, testing
Not
Alpha 2.
playing. Yeah. Precisely.
We're looking forward to test Alpha 2 with you guys. But moving, unless you have something else to add to that,
No, that was about it.
moving on to the dev discussion. So I have a huge opinion on this. I want to hear yours first, though. And Intrepid is asking, when it comes to cutscenes, what entices you not to skip them? Tell us about your favorites and what makes them unique. And I'll tell you some of the things I've heard around the community as well.
Wow, that's kind of a loaded question, but
I know.
because there's so much to it and so much plays into it, because you could have, and I dare you, anybody, to go to YouTube and try to watch some of those videos of like exciting, crazy scenes without the music. They're not as
Yeah.
crazy or exciting. They're really not.
No.
So number one, without people realizing it, is going to be the music. Number two is going to be potentially a tough spot for Ashes, because they've said there's not going to be voice acting, and there's potential, I guess, for some AI voice, but yeah, voice acting is pretty huge. Just watching a regular video with music as a cutscene, it feels very bland. It would feel very bland as opposed to having voice acting. And
Alex,
then, uh-oh.
I'm gonna pin that and get back to you later.
Nice. But those are the two. Like, there's got to be some dialogue to carry the scene. There's got to be some audio to really set the scene. The actual scene
Yeah.
itself could be literally a narrator describing the world as you just pan through, and there's no action to it. There's just, maybe some people walking around, riding their mounts, going about business in town, whatever. That would
Yeah.
hook me more so than something that has a ton of action and no voiceover whatsoever. And it's just her, ha. A minute and a half, 2-minute trailer of that, or even cutscene of that, would just be meh.
Yeah. Alex Hyrule says, as a long-term Final Fantasy 14 player, skipping cutscenes is very illegal. I agree on the first one because like that I mean that there's MSQ, right? But Ashes, will Ashes have an MSQ? That's a good question. How important will cutscenes be to Ashes of Creation? That's another good question. Now, some of the things I saw, and I believe it was Falco that I saw make a video on this, is interactive cutscenes where it's not just something that you are, just sit back and just not engaging with. But he personally liked the whole hitting, especially on PlayStation, hitting circle on for timed actions and things like that. Um, Honestly, I feel like as much as I don't like World of Warcraft currently, there are cutscenes where chef's kiss for the most part. The
Mm.
little videos they put out on YouTube, the cinematics, chef's kiss. They know how to tell a good story. And I think it's very vital for getting engaged in the world around you. But I do think that, there's going to be a lot of necessity behind having voice acting for that. Q AI voice acting, although I don't think it's quite there yet, to be honest. I mean, we've gotten the spam calls where it totally sounds like somebody who's like in an office environment, but you can still kind of tell they're AI a little bit.
To be honest, it's going to cost less in theory to do AI voice acting, but they're going to need somebody there with the right audio tools and
Yeah.
the right AI tools to be able to edit it so that they can smooth out some of the tones and some of the harsh beginnings and endings of letters and harsh joining of letters and words and odd pauses and things like that. They're
Yeah.
going to be
I
paying
did like
somebody a lot of money to do that too.
I didn't know this actually. Ludoid, who we're having on next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, said I did like the AI voice acting from World of Warcraft add-on, but voice acting I think is definitely needed to immerse players. And Argam, who actually I believe does some voice acting, AI voice acting isn't quite here yet. I do voice stuff for fun, and I'll be very sad when it does start replacing with AI. And yeah, because I mean, for a lot of people, that's it. That's expensive, right? Like people are going to want royalties on it. If the game does well, they're going to want more money later on. This has been a whole conversation. But like Penumbral says, AI voice actors can be updated like Unreal Engine, and all you need to do is buy this package, and you have
Yeah.
this voice actor.
Yep.
Um,
And that's honestly the way that voice actors can get paid money too.
True.
Is they could
Lend your
get more
voice
of an
to
upfront
AI.
payment. Yeah, they can get an
Yeah.
upfront payment or royalty fees every time it's that package is purchased by a company, that type of
Kind
thing.
of like people that make the Photoshop tools or brushes that you can buy. Every time somebody needs to use that brush, they have to pay royalty for you.
Mhm.
Um, I see it kind of similarly. It could be a tool or it could be destruction. um, but the other says to answer the question, build me up before you go into a cinematic. Give me a story that draws me in and then surprise me with a cinematic, such that I mute Discord and forget what my raid leaders say.
Right?
um, there you go. There you go, Argam. Um, but I think honestly, like Basil says, the Overwatch short stories are top tier. Also for Blizzard, they do a great job, says Phantom X, for their lore as well. But also, I agree with what Phantom X says. Let us skip after the first watch. But that brings me to the question: how many first watches will we have? Will there be a second watch? Or will it just be you watch and that's it? There's no rewatching.
Um,
Um,
I think for multiple characters, that type of thing. Like the
maybe.
account itself gets saved with the first watch.
Maybe, but maybe whatever you do on your second character is different enough from your primary character that you get a different cutscene.
In theory, and this is actually something that I'm curious about how it's going to occur, is the main storyline of the game, right? So if you
Yeah.
have the main story quest and the world is supposed to evolve with players, for one, it's going to be complex to make that happen very well. There's going to be some nodes that are going to have to stay static how they are and won't be impacted by any players. But over
Yeah.
time, they're going to start running out of those nodes, and they're going to have to start doing something, and if they change the world or alter the world or do something else to it, then that original storyline isn't going to work so well anymore. So at some point, the
Right.
entire story of the game might need to change with a
Right.
like an update.
And to your point, Penumbral says if the story arc changes, your alts might not even have the chance to see the same cutscene. And Basil says if every server since every server will be different in Ashes, how will cutscenes even work? And like, how will they trigger them, you know? And I think that's a good question. These are great questions to consider going forward. But for my favorite cutscenes, what entices me not to skip them are if they're entertaining enough. Like, I have to feel like I am immersed in some sort of like movie or video scene, essentially. Um, Again, going back to the whole idea of already feeling immersed in the story of the game, right? Whenever in World of Warcraft you were given a cutscene, there was usually some story that you were already following within World of Warcraft where that cutscene made a big difference and you saw some really big things unfold in the cutscene that really impacted and like gave levity to the things that you watched or read previously. No, the game's not out. It's still in development.
Yeah, not out quite yet. But yeah, I think Basil, part of how cutscenes can work is literally just making them positional cameras based on your character's position in the world. Kind of like how I think GTA does it this way, where
Yeah,
there's some outtake videos and such where some crazy stuff will be happening in the background, like car crashes and people getting run over and stuff like that while there's a cutscene going,
crazy
because
things.
the game world just keeps on going, but they just
Yeah.
pop a camera at like a 45-degree angle from the player and another camera as a 80-degree angle over here, and they pop back and forth between them.
Yeah. Sorry, real quick aside. Mind like Eric said, "Are you guys the doves?" And then Penumbral says, "They wish."
True story. That'd be
We
great.
do wish. No, we are just long-term supporters of Ashes of Creation, and we have been doing this podcast for about 5 years.
Yeah.
So we just like to talk about things that the community is talking about, and this is one of the development discussions that was put out recently by Intrepid.
Yeah, we've been
Um,
following it for almost 7 years.
yeah,
Very close
thank
to.
you. Yeah, very close to 7 years at this point. Virtek got on the Kickstarter back, and I got the summer backer Kickstarter thing that they had. So yeah, the OGs. one of.
CCC.
But yes, I think that there's a lot, and you know, like there will be lots of different types of cutscenes that they're gonna have to consider. Like, what if it's an evolving MSQ, like Arkham said? You know, are they going to be able to make multiple unique cutscenes? Because that will become expensive, like the other mentioned. And thank you, converts to red. um, but you know, I think that there's a lot of things to consider, and I'm excited to see what Intrepid has to offer in terms of a cutscene, because I'm gonna be honest, I have high hopes for them. If you can see, did you just sneeze? Bless you.
I did just sneeze. Thank you.
No, we're not in the same room, but we are in similar looking rooms. At least as our
Mhm.
background looks like. But yeah, the thing I was gonna say is if you can show me an art like design sketch of what you want something to look like in Ashes, and then fast forward to when they actually put it in the game and it looks exactly like the the sketch, but like actually exactly like it, I have no doubts that they're going to be able to do something great with cutscenes.
Mhm.
Granted, I
But
know video is a whole other ballgame than just art, but I'm just saying.
yeah, Basil, that's what I thought about cutscenes. But then you know what's worse? Imagine making an amazing raid for a specific node or a specific set of circumstances, and that node or that circumstance grouping just never occurs, or it takes
Yeah.
5 years to occur. Oh my gosh, that would be so bananas. Oh, are you out of here? Fine. Well,
Have a
thank you
good
for
one.
stopping in. You take care.
Yes. Also, are they in-game cutscenes or in-game cinematic cutscenes? And that's a good question too, you know? I
Hmm.
would love a cutscene like the first time you log in after the story arc starts, but doing cutscenes during the questing feels bad for me. Yeah. Oh no. Aw,
Oh
I
no.
feel that.
Games are more
Games
important.
are more
It's
important.
true. See, if you don't have one, you should get a squirt bottle. It works for kitties. It should work for kitties too.
Oh my
Right?
gosh.
Right? Actually, don't follow that advice. That's probably terrible advice and get you in a lot of trouble for doing that.
But Lloyd, I was thinking, what about the first time you log in before the story arc even starts? Like to set the scene of what, you know, Ash's recreation is like. And yeah, Penumbra, I had that same idea. Kids can make you XP while you're at
Yep.
work. Just train
Make
them
sure to do the
early.
chores.
I am you're good, you're good. But yeah, I think there's a lot of really good ideas that cutscenes could have. I would love to see how they use them, you know. Um it's just I don't know. I'm curious with what Intrepid has in mind for that in general. And what that's going to look like once we get out of testing and into the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's gonna be fun times, and
yeah.
just exploring how all that occurs and just watching how they develop it is it's gonna be a ride. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Phantom said earlier, Kickstarter was a good time, and half of it was because of the excitement and anticipation of what's going to happen, how
Oh
many
yeah.
backers are there going to be, are we going to unlock the next thing, oh my gosh, we're almost there, oh yeah, we unlocked that thing, okay, let's see if we can unlock the next, come on guys.
Yeah. I also have to say, I miss those days just because of how much excitement the community had. Where like almost every single day you could log on to Discord and there are people in numerous like voice channels talking about like theory crafting and things like that. And I do imagine we're probably going to see a form of that as we get closer to Alpha 2 or the launch, even betas, but maybe not to the same extent that we used to see it, because the excitement then, I believe, is more in line with, you know, the game coming out in a short amount of time. Whereas currently, we're not entirely sure when the game is going to come out. We're just waiting for that sweet, sweet Alpha 2 month
We're
announcement.
looking at it one launch at a time. Alpha 2
Yeah,
launch,
exactly.
beta 1 launch, beta 2 launch, actual launch.
Yeah. But we do have our own little mini versions of that each month where they mention, you know, oh, next month is going to be Node Wars and the following month might be Bard, you know, things like that. And some people start getting all excited, or things that they learn from the live streams and then, you know, doing their own little theory crafting from that. And speaking of theory crafting, UE 5.4 just kind of gave its announcement recently. And people, of course, we've already mentioned this once, have been asking, is this the update that Intrepid is waiting for? And I'll go ahead and share this in here. Been out for a bit, to be honest. Yeah. But they have some really cool updates to the foliage and the world around them with the lighting and everything. And we have a champion of the hill going, so make sure to join in on the fight. um,
Joining.
but basically, this is coming from the Reddit, and there's been some back and forth in the comment section about it, where you know they're talking about how it's probably got to be a nightmare to upgrade. But then somebody else mentioned, well, if they've already moved from 4 to 5, updating from say 5.3 to 5.4, it might be more of a breeze than it was going from 4 to 5, because these are smaller little updates that they're doing. And because of El Shielde, who put it in the Ashes General in our Discord, mentioned, you know, they just finished moving to 5.2. Steven had announced a little while back. So I think whether or not they go to 5.4 or not, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be pretty easy to update within 5.
Yeah, and that's the theory. I don't know anything about it because I haven't played around in
Nice.
there at all.
Other
But
one.
hey, Thriller, good job with the donut, no less. Donuts
Right?
and plungers.
Donuts and plungers for sure. And sandal. There was the one sandal. Rigged.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't eventually move on to 5.4, then I don't know. They're doing it wrong. They're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because they eventually will go to 5.6 or 5.7 or 5.8 or something that has a feature that they really want to have, and it's just going to bring 5.4 along with it. It's just it's a matter of time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other says I want Intrepid to only update to UE5, the UE5 engine if it comes with performance improvements at this time. We can add cool graphics at a later time in a patch or release. And that's a good point, right? Is because while Penumbral says, oh man, thank you for 4 months. Appreciate that.
Graugus,
Thank you for the
thank you,
resub.
much appreciated.
I'm gonna do a cheers to that. But
Cheers.
yeah, Penumbra saying updates within 5 aren't a big deal, and Lloyd said I think when you update when the new patch is stable without all the little bugs and it has time to be resolved. And I agree because even in web development, you don't want to go into the newest thing like immediately, right?
And Guild Umbrella also brings a really good question for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what game is this?
Oh, how original.
Oh,
For those
Loudy.
that don't know, Guild Umbra is a long-term friend who always asks, "What game is this?"
Just stops in every once in a while. Is it out yet? What game is
it out
this?
yet?
What's going on?
What's happening? Who are you? Who am I? It's Hades too.
Hades too. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Oh my gosh. Won by bribing. Nice, Oracle. Oh my gosh. If you spend all your time updating the latest code levels, engine levels, you always kicks the can down the road and the product never gets produced. It's just like feature creep. Possibly, but at the same time, I mean, it could come with a lot of performance updates, you know. But I think that's the importance. Speaking to that again from a web development perspective, I'm sure just keep bored. It would be important to have like in my mind, right? When I go to develop something, let's say I want to make a big update to a web page, I would take a copy of that web page essentially that is not going to affect whatever is currently live, and I would do all of my changes and my updates and my testing on that, and then I would show it to my boss before we move those changes live. I imagine it's the same thing with gaming, with updating an engine and things like that. I imagine whatever format they're at currently with Ashes of Creation, there'd be a copy of that server somewhere for a testing server where they would test these updates and see if it's worth it or if it's not worth it.
Yeah, Thriller has a good point there. Started off with saying, yeah, if you keep spending your time updating the latest code, you never really get stuff done. You just keep updating whatever is already happening back there. And dealing with patches and updates on server farms and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. So you wait for that one feature that you really, really want to have, and then you let them test that for a little bit, let everyone else work out the bugs, and then you upgrade just in one big chunk.
Hey, Gragus.
Except for security updates. Always do security updates.
Yeah, but that's also why I briefly touched on it earlier. Like, absolutely, yeah, you wait for that to come through before you move to it. Like, you don't move to it immediately, but it's definitely something that you wait for. Goodback says, I think that's why they have over 200 devs now, though. They have a specific people for updating everything, which is kind of the point that I was making. And probably even looking into when those things are ready to update to. Graga says, with that new tiered Renkai armor showcasing, I may be playing a Renkai shaman instead of a Dunir.
Right?
I know it actually looks really cool, and we
Yeah.
definitely saw Jamie get super excited over the Renkai.
I mean, it was some great looking armor, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's not gonna look as good as Vec everything, but you know.
It's not going to look as good as the Pyrite starting armor, just saying. Betrayal against Junior. Oh no. We have a battle in our midst. No meat for you.
Vec best. Vec best.
Aw. Yeah. Yeah, and Lloyd was just saying that's essentially what he does for his company is the testing. Does versus Sogli? Uh-oh. You went with the Renkai. Basis is the one to see Pyrite armor. Cough, cough, Elves and Dune. Yeah.
Oh me, oh my.
Oh me, oh my. Zigzag. Telnar brings out the best of all worlds. Actually, to that note, we have some new people that are coming onto our primary podcast. So for those of you that aren't familiar, we have a podcast that has been running pretty much the entire 5 years that we've been doing this. That is our interview podcast. We kind of call this more of a tavern talk where we just sit and talk about like random things that have come up within Ashes or the community, like UE5, right? But this month we have a new face, Lloyd, who we get to meet and interact with you guys. And then next month we have let's see, Pockets Art. We're gonna be able to give a interview to. So that's exciting. Also Viral. Viral will be our guest this month as well. And in July, we're going to have a couple new faces that are having been popped up in the Ashes community as of late. We have a guild leader who's for Tolnar. We have a guild leader who's for Renkai, I believe, and a few new content creators. So I'm very excited to meet them and introduce them to you guys. And so yeah, we're booked all the way through July. I'm currently pausing booking people because the next one will not be until August, and well, that's a little whiles away. So oh my gosh, Virtek. Thank you, Lloyd. You waited too long. Population is dead. Oh no. Yeah, we only have like 4 weeks in a month, so it fills up really fast.
It does. And we're happy for that. We want to get especially new faces out there and meeting everyone, being introduced, getting your views out there.
Yeah. We have the Tonar.
The Tonar. Yeah, I gotta say I wasn't interested in Tolnar until they showed all the screenshots for what they look like, at least the busts anyway.
Yeah.
I know someone just mentioned that just a little bit ago in chat also, but I fully agree. I really wasn't crazy about the idea of the Tolnar until that came out. That art came out and I said, yeah, I'll probably have one of those.
There's the one that said, man, not gonna lie, the Tolnar bust for headshots makes me excited for Tolnar.
Yeah, that's what did it for me. I'm gonna have a Tolnar alt. It's not gonna be my main. That's gonna be the main. It'll be a stargazer.
All in all, though, just to kind of summarize today's show, we talked about, what to expect as Alpha 2 comes on. We're going to have a lot of people that are looking to, ask probably some questions that we've answered a lot. There's going to be a lot of content creators who will be covering Ashes who don't know the whole story. So that's something to be prepared for. And then we talked about the cutscenes and how Ashes might have some difficulty with that, with how many unique servers they're going to be having. And finally talking about some UE updates as well as some random community topics on characters. But Drunk Ninja says my wife gets mad when I hit random for a character. Look, aw. There's okay. Look, you got the people that hit random, then you got people like me who spend way too long doing. I feel like we even it out for the rest of us. Penumbra says a lot of haters and people who don't know shit but want to trash us for having fun. It's everything. I think I saw somebody have like a reaction to the video game MMO tribalism where like my game's better than your game. Like that's
Right.
already within the MMO community. Like it's there at this point. It's gonna
You know what's
happen.
funny? Think about this though. Guild Ember just asked a question. I know it's a troll question, but it spawned a serious thought. He was asking, "Is this a Korean MMO?"
This is a
And you know
Korean
how
MMO.
a lot of the MMOs that have been released in the recent past have all been, you know, a Korean MMO that they ported over here. What would happen if Ashes were successful enough that it became, you know, an American port over to Korea? How neat would that be? Have the Korean market come online, and
I'm nervous.
they have to catch up with what we've been doing for the longest time. Yeah, an Eastern port.
An Eastern port. That's hilarious. Actually, the opposite happening. Mr. Valentine's asking, do you guys think there will be more crashing bugs like the cleric healing crashing the caravan showcase? Probably. I mean, it's still in development and they're still pulling stuff online. I am 1000% gonna guess that there's gonna be something that they didn't test. Because the reality is, I mean, Virtek and I kind of speak to this. We both have tested games in the future, or in the past.
In the future, we have tested games.
Yes. But you know, there's things that they don't know. They can't see the future with that is where I was going with. Like they can't see the future and they don't know when having more people on could cause more of an issue than what they've experienced because they know what to test. And then we walk into the game like that and we're like, I'm gonna hit all the buttons. And then next thing you know, something that they didn't think to test just causes a bug. So,
every button that's there, it's going to be pushed.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Spread our no pay to win culture. Exactly, does Revis. All the KR will know no pay to win.
Exact 2077 dates.
Actually, it was funny. On the last comment of that, I had tweeted out to someone named Grappler who put out a video on when Ash's Alpha 2 release is going to be, and he comes to August, I think 2nd or 3rd, based on mathematology. So I thought that was
mathematology.
humorous. So.
Oi, I saw you commenting on that one. What was that one? What I'll have to watch it. Is it one of those where it's like silly math to get numbers and stuff?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Well, you go ahead.
I was gonna say a nice and a is there no one else are live.
Yes, and they have a Vladis on with them.
So who better to who better to bring over?
And I forget who we rated to last time. I think we did nice, and then is there no one else? I think was the last one we rated over to, or was it nice?
We rated nice last time.
Okay.
So we can read over to is there no one else?
Yeah. Get them raids ready. Oh, Penumbra's already doing it. Did a wave and a roar over in Nice's chat already.
Nice.
Right.
I'm grabbing the username right now.
Okay. Well, everybody, thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you all for adding such lovely conversation. Such amazing trolls in the chat.
Hey, packets.
This game's Alpha 2 is coming out this year. Yes.
Yeah.
But anywho, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for taking the time and spending it here. We do not offer refunds because we couldn't and we wouldn't if we could. But Chibi, you?
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, it sounded like you wanted to talk, so I wanted to make sure I didn't keep talking over
Nope.
you. Okay, no. Well, either way, everybody, let's grade on over there. You have yourselves a lovely day, fantastic evening, and we'll see you. When's next? Friday? Friday, yeah. Wait,
Yep.
I think Friday. Yeah.
What? Yeah.
New schedule. Friday. We'll see you then. Okay, bye.
Later.